DJI has something pretty interesting here, the Avata 360, and this is not just about a new drone, it's about a completely different camera system, because instead of improving the usual specs like resolution or stabilization, DJI is changing the way the drone actually captures video. So in this video I'm going to break down the key upgrades, the design changes, and everything we know so far about how the Avata 360 works. And more importantly, what these changes actually mean in real use. Now, without any further ado, let's get straight into it. So the first thing to understand is the core idea behind this drone. The Avata 360 is built around 360 capture, which means instead of filming in one direction like a normal drone, it records everything around it. And that might sound simple, but it changes everything. Because now, instead of choosing your shot while flying, you're capturing the entire scene and deciding the angle later in editing. And this is the main shift. Everything else in this drone is built around that idea. Now let's talk about the design, because you can immediately see that this drone is built differently. From what we've seen so far, the Avata 360 looks bigger than the Avata 2, especially at the front. And that's because of the camera module. It appears to use two large fisheye lenses positioned on opposite sides to capture the full 360 image. So naturally that front section is wider, but at the same time the body itself looks a bit slimmer. Now, one of the most interesting details is how DJI seems to be protecting those lenses. In some early footage, the camera appears to rotate when the drone lands, which would prevent the glass from touching the ground. And that's a smart solution, because with lenses this exposed, scratches are basically unavoidable. So another expected upgrade is the ability to replace those lenses, meaning if you damage one, you don't need to send the whole drone in for repair. You can just swap it yourself. Now let's move on to video specs, because this is where things start to sound impressive, but also a bit misleading if you don't understand how 360 video works. The Avata 360 should support up to 8K recording. Now that sounds great, but with 360 video, resolution works differently, because you're not using the entire image in your final video. You're capturing a full sphere and then cropping into it. So when you export a normal video, you're only using part of that footage, which means the final result can look closer to 4K or even less depending on how much you reframe. So higher resolution helps, but it doesn't automatically mean sharper footage. If you like the video so far, please drop a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Now, because of this type of footage, storage and workflow become more important. There are expectations of internal storage, possibly between 128 and 256 gigabytes, plus a MicroSD card slot. And that makes sense, because 360 footage is heavy, but the bigger difference is actually in editing. With a normal drone, you just take your clips and drop them into your timeline. With 360 footage, you usually need to process the clips first, choose your angles, and then export those shots before editing your final video. So you gain flexibility, but the workflow becomes a bit more involved. Another useful feature is the obstacle avoidance. Some early information mentions omnidirectional sensing, possibly using more advanced systems. But if you look at the drone, you don't clearly see sensors on every side like on a Mavic. So it's possible DJI is using a mix of cameras and software. But until this is properly tested, I can't say for certain, but I'll keep you updated here on the channel as soon as I test the Avata 360 properly. Moving on to flight time and weight. So one battery should last roughly 18 to 20 minutes, and that's pretty solid. Now, in terms of weight, this is not a sub 250 gram drone. It's in the same category as the Avata 2, or possibly a bit heavier. And I know some people were hoping this would stay under 250 grams, but realistically that was very unlikely. You've got propeller guards, a stronger frame, bigger components, and all of that adds weight. But that extra weight also helps with stability, especially in wind. Another nice thing is that the Avata 360 should stay within DJI's current ecosystem. So I'm expecting support for Goggles 3, Goggles N3, and the motion controller. And if you already own DJI gear, that's a big advantage. But for actual FPV flying, you'll still want to use a proper FPV controller or motion controller. That's where you get the full experience. Alright, let's now talk about pricing. Based on early information, the drone-only version should sit somewhere in the mid-range, roughly around $400 to $500, and full kits with goggles and controllers could go closer to around $1,000 or more. So very similar positioning to the Avata 2, and that brings us to the most important part, what these upgrades actually mean. Because yes, the specs are interesting. Rotating camera, replaceable lenses, possible 8K, 360 capture, but the real shift is not in the specs. It's in how you use the drone. For some people, this is going to unlock a lot of creative freedom, and for others, like, it might just add extra steps without much benefit, right? Let me know what you think in the comments. Oh, wait, there's also one more thing to keep in mind. Availability, especially if you live in the United States due to the recent DJI ban. However, the FCC for this drone was registered prior to the ban, so in theory there should be availability in the US. That's something I'll keep tracking and updating here on the channel, so subscribe and I'll see you in this next video here.